Please welcome Sister Marjorie Ann Baez to the podium, a colleague and superior of the Order of the Daughters of Charity.
Good evening. I thank especially Archbishop Gomez and the committee for honoring Sister Alice Marie for the magnificent work she has been doing in Los Angeles over almost 40 years. Sister was born in Chicago and went to high school in Albuquerque, and from there she went to the School of Nursing at a Daughter of Charity hospital in El Paso, Texas. The love of the sisters there, the love of the Daughters of Charity whom she saw, especially in their kindness in visiting families in their homes, this touched and awakened in her heart a call to serve God as a Daughter of Charity. And so she went to St. Louis for her novitiate, and then after the novitiate, to New Orleans. First she studied nursing, and then she studied dietetics. And this shaped her whole life. She worked in New Orleans in Daughter of Charity Hospital, Hotel Dieu, for 4 years, then came to California, to San Francisco and Daly City for the then new hospital of Mary's Help in Daly City. And there she opened the dietary department. After serving there 9 years, she came to our new provincial aid in Los Altos Hills, and there also opened the dietary department. And then in 1975, she came to Los Angeles. And it was there that she discovered the great need of homebound seniors and the elderly for food. First of all, for food, so that then the medicines that the doctors prescribed would be effective. And so for more than 40 years, Sister Alice Marie has made it her daily challenge to serve tasty, individualized meals to seniors, homebound seniors, and the disabled. Sister has lived 62 years as a Daughter of Charity, and this has fueled the service that she's given. She has lived the virtues that St. Vincent de Paul gave to us. His advice when we go out to serve those who are in need. He talked especially about compassion, having a heart for their suffering, and we do see this in Sister Alice Marie. St. Vincent talked about cordiality, serving with a heart. He also talked about respect. No matter what the circumstances, finding Christ in the person. And he talked about devotion, serving as though it was someone in your family, the most important person. Each person is that. And that is what Sister Alice Marie has shown in the individualized and tasty meals that she has served, way more than 3,000 meals per day at this time. Sister Alice Marie also learned from St. Vincent de Paul a great devotion to divine providence. And this has been what has been her mainstay through these 62 years as a Daughter of Charity. Sister has many stories to tell about how God saved her in the nick of time. And I think she probably will share some of those when she speaks. But Sister has been for us and for the homebound seniors and disabled in Los Angeles a great way to show the mercy and love of God. And the Daughters of Charity are proud of Sister Alice Marie, and thank you for honoring her.
Archbishop Gomez, it's my privilege to introduce Sister Alice Marie Quinn, Daughter of Charity, escorted by Tom Blumenthal.
The Archbishop said, would you like to talk a little bit? He doesn't know me very well. I want to thank you very much, Archbishop Gomez, for this wonderful award, and I am also very, very humbled and very happy to be here. I know I was told I had 1 minute, and everybody I lived with said it will never happen. So I'm going to really try. But I do want to thank all those who are involved in this award and to also congratulate the other honorees. And after listening to their stories and I think, gosh, what am I haven't done much at all. But I think I've done what God wants me to do. And I want to thank most of all our Lord, and for first of all creating me and allowing me to live in this world, for my family and for my gift of faith, and most of all for my gift of vocation. My family, everyone that I knew said, oh, you'll never make it as a nun. Yeah. And I said, I think I will. And well, my mother said, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And but I'm glad that God saw more in me than what appeared, because I was really a handful as a kid, and I know why my mother would get after me so much. I was really a pain, but I was the fourth of 5 children, and I think that's what I wanted somebody to notice me, and when you're the fourth down there, it's kind of hard. So everything she would tell me not to do was the first thing I would do. So, and I've done that all my life, and but I did find, the Daughters of Charity and St. Vincent de Paul, and I am most grateful for my vocation to the Daughters of Charity. I had gone to school with other sisters, and I just never felt that they were all teachers. And when I met the Daughters of Charity, they did so much service to the poor, and I was out to be a nurse, but I changed after the first year. I had the first year twice. First as a layperson, and then when I came to the community, I had to go back and start over again. So I always tell everybody, I've had 2 years of nursing, the first year twice. So, and then they said they needed more dietitians than nurses, and so I asked if I would go to the kitchen. And I thought, oh, that's great. I love the kitchen. I love to cook and bake and eat. And and then some of the sisters that were nurses said, well, if you don't make it in nursing, they always send you to the kitchen. I said, well, that's fine. I didn't care. So I did finish school, and I did a dietetic internship at Charity Hospital in New Orleans. I better talk faster. And so after my internship, I was 2 weeks after I graduated. The superior took me over to Hotel Dieu Hospital, and that was my new assignment. And she said, I want you to go in there. I want you to tell everybody who you are and tell them you're in charge. And I said, oh, I can't do that. And she said, why not? And I said, I'm only 25. I just graduated. They know I don't know anything. She said, listen, you just graduated. The community educated you. and God will give you the grace to do whatever you have to do. And I said, is that all there is to it? She said, that's all. So I took those words to heart, especially the grace of God, and I thought, you really have to help me because I really don't know what I'm doing. And so it started, and I went into the kitchen and actually went to my office and cried for an hour. And then she came in and got me, and she said, what's the matter with you? And I said, I'm really scared. So she said, well, I'll take you out there. So she introduced me to everybody and said, this is your new boss. Whatever she says, you do it. And I didn't know how much power I had then, but I've got that power, and I've kept that power all these years. And it's really wonderful being the boss. And but it's not, it's not just because I want my own way, which I do, but you can do so much when you're in charge. You can change things, and you don't have to wait for a committee, and you're your own boss. If you want to do something different, you go ahead and you do it, and you just pray it's okay. And so I've done that, and when I found my calling with the elderly in Los Angeles, I couldn't believe people didn't have enough to eat, and seniors it's even worse now. There are so many starving seniors. But I went out, they told me about Meals on Wheels, and St. Barnabas, which is a senior center, they had to do this for the government, and they said, we don't have a kitchen, and you have one. And I'll always be grateful for Father John Fallon from Precious Blood Parish. I went to talk to him about starting a program in the parish, and he was very happy about it. And he said, well, I'm going to Ireland for 6 weeks. He said, you can start it while I'm gone. I said, well, does the parish know about it? And he said, oh, yeah, yes, that's right. And I said, are you and he said, just go ahead. So he said, get in touch with this lady with the Altar and Rosary Society. So they were thrilled, and they were all older women. And so then I started, but the parish wanted to have a meeting first, and they called me on a Monday night. And they said they were not for this at all. They said, you're going to have all the bums up here from the park, and nobody's going to volunteer, and you're going to make my husband clean more. And they all kept saying that. I said, but Father said I can do it, and I'm going to do it. And it's not going to work, it'll fall. And I said, well, then it will fall. But I said, I'm going to do it. So we did start on the 7th of July. There was no special date. And since that day, I trust God completely. I do trust in divine providence, St. Vincent said. And God will always take care of the poor. And so I thought, if you're really going to take care of the poor, I will do the work if you tell me how to do all this. And he really has led me along this path. And it has not been by myself. I mean, I accept this award for the thousands of people that have, gone along, started with the people at Precious Blood and all the different volunteers from the different parishes. It's been really an archdiocesan affair. Every parish has sent volunteers and has helped. Monsignor Gallagher lets me go talk to the people in his parish, and that takes up a collection and gives us, because we're always looking for money and volunteers. And so we now raise close to $5 million from private individuals to continue this program. And I know this is a long story, but it's a great ministry, and the people we hire and the volunteers that come, I promise every one of them that if they do a good job in serving the poor, when they die, they will go right to heaven. And I think that's really true. I don't know what the bishop says, but when our Lord has said, whatever you do to the least of my brethren, you do it to me. Enter the kingdom of God. And I tell them, St. Vincent de Paul always said, the poor you serve on earth will be waiting for you at the gate of heaven when you die. And they will call you by name. And I think, I can hardly wait. But the volunteers said, I'm waiting for you. If I don't go there, and I said, you're going to go there. Don't worry. And so there's two little stories I wanted to tell you. One, One story. And when we first started at Precious Blood, there was an old dishwasher, and we used plastic plates. We had silverware, and so the dishwasher was really what we needed. But it was very old, and it kept falling apart. And I would call the engineers from St. Vincent's Medical Center, who really supported us, and the administrator was my boss. And I said, they'd been working on this dishwasher, and they said there's nothing more they can do. I said, could I order a new one? And the hospital was paying our bills until we got donations to cover them. And he said, oh, sure, go ahead. So I ordered a Hobart dishwasher, $5,000, and I added all the stuff on it that I wanted, a spray and everything. And so you might as well do it the best. So then they got it, installed it, and I got the bill. And at the same time, Ralph's grocery store was having this contest where you bought groceries and you got these little tickets, and you put them on like a bingo sheet, and they had prizes. So I had a whole lot of them. We had just we had just had a couple hundred clients, so I did a lot of shopping at Ralph's. So it was towards the end of the contest, and I put all these things on, and I said, I just won $5,000. And everybody said, oh, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. And so we put them all together, took them to Ralph's, and they said, yes, you can have a trip for two to Australia, or $5,000. I said, oh, I want the $5,000. So we got it, and the day I got it, I got a bill, bill from the Hobart saying that dishwasher cost $5,000, and the tax and the installation brought it to $6,001. And so, as it was, I was going around talking to different groups, a lot of Catholic groups, about the program, trying to get volunteers and to get donations, and I told them about that God really brings miracles, and he loves his people, and he loves the poor, and he wants to see that they're fed and taken care of. So I told them about the dishwasher, and that the day that we got the bill, I won $5,000. So I really felt that God was really taking care of us, and this was proof. This was a miracle. And so all the men, they were all men, and they all are interested not in the frou-frou. They want to know who pays for this and what's the bottom line. And I know nothing about finance. I just know I get it. I want to buy it. I buy it, and I go find somebody to help me pay for it. So then these men were all very excited, except one man stood up and he said, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. And he said, if God really did send you the money for that dishwasher, why didn't he send 6,001? Why 5? And I said to myself, God, you better give me an answer, because I don't know why you didn't do that. So it just came out of my mouth like from nowhere. I said, oh, well, God doesn't pay for tax and installation. So we have had many, many, many miracles. When we have no money in the bank and the payroll's coming up, and everybody says, where are we going to get the money? I said, don't ask and don't worry. I said, has God ever let us down? And he said, well, no, but there's no money in the bank. There's nothing coming in. And I said, well, let's just wait. It'll come. Oh, and one sister told me one time, she said, you always say that. You always say God's going to take care of you. I said, well, isn't that what we're supposed to believe? And she said, yeah, but you're always right, she said. And so this is a program that is it's a wonderful ministry, and there are so many people involved in it, so many groups in the church. The Knights of Columbus, the Catholic Daughters, the Ladies of Charity, the Vincentian family, which I am very proud is here. Many of them are here tonight, from the Vincentian Fathers, the Ladies of Charity, the Catholic Daughters of America, which I belong to, and the St. Vincent de Paul Society. If we have many clients we find asleep on the floor, and we call St. Vincent de Paul, and they send us new beds. They will even deliver them to the client's house, new beds and mattresses. And so we all work together in the service of the poor, and we try to make our clients as happy as possible. And we try to fit the menu to their likes. In a lot of programs, everybody gets the same menu, and that's how we started out. And this lady called me, because we always had fish on Friday. The old-fashioned Catholics wanted fish on Friday, so I said, fine. So this lady said, if I eat that fish, I'll die. And I said, why? And she said, because I'm allergic. I said, well, we'll send you something else. And the staff said, what's wrong with you? You said everybody's going to eat the same thing. I said, I know, but you can't send her something she can't eat. So then we started. If people couldn't eat something or were allergic to something, we would change the menu and send them. And we've tried to do that up to today. And it was fine for 150 people. And now when St. Vincent Meals on Wheels has 1,200 clients, and we do sell meals to the other programs, Santa Monica, West LA, Culver Palms, the Salvation Army in Glendale, and they buy our meals. We have a large kitchen now, and we have special diets, which they also buy. And we've set up a program. There's a lot of needs in the community for food. And in South Central, a lot of the federal programs have waiting lists, and you have to be over 60 to get a meal from the federal programs. So we are privately funded, and we take anybody who needs us. Our youngest client was 14, and he was waiting for a kidney, and his mother could not afford a special diet for him, and she had 4 other children. So we had him on a renal diet until he got his kidney. And we've gone now out to South Central. There are many, many clients out there under 60, between 40 and 50, that are on dialysis and all waiting for kidneys. And so we have not been able to go out there with hot meals every day because we have to hire more people. So we did ask them if they would take a frozen meal, and we make up the renal diets for them. So we go out to South Central 5 days a week with a refrigerated truck, and we do almost 300 clients in South Central with frozen meals. And they get 7 meals for the week, and if they need more or any special thing, we do that. And so we also have 2 client advocates that go out to see our clients to see what they need, and if they need transportation, and try to refer them to other agencies. And so it's a wonderful a ministry. It's really, we're serving God's poor, and we do see Christ in the poor, and we try to make all of our staff and volunteers, and many of them feel, they feel that way. And we're looking always for more volunteers, and I thought this would be a nice place to advertise. So we need drivers, and we need people to help deliver the meals, and it's a wonderful, and I promise you'll go to heaven if you do a good job. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful, and God bless you.